Hey y'all, welcome to Peyton Energetics. I'm Peyton and I'm a Pleiadian channel and Starseed coach. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about Starseed Health. Now, in past videos, we have talked a lot about how one of the hallmarks of the starseed is that they often struggle with the physical body. So in today's video, we're going to go a little deeper and take a look at some of the things that tend to pop up for starseeds more than your average person. Now, as we always say in these videos, this does not mean that every starseed has issues with the body. There are some starseeds that do just wonderfully in the physical body, but they tend to be the exception. So today, the Pleiadians are going to share some pointers about how to fit more comfortably in your physical body. And they're going to talk about some of the things that seem to crop up more often for starseeds than for the average person. So as always, we are talking in trends, in generalities, and not saying that this happens to everyone. So if you are a starseed who has issues with the physical body, and unfortunately, most of us seem to, today we're going to take a look at some of the common factors that seem to pop up. So today we're going to take a look at some of those annoyances that pop up for a lot of starseeds and some advice from the guides as to what we can do about it. Now, before we jump in, don't forget, hit the subscribe button and the like button if you haven't done that yet. So what are some of the health issues that we seem to see coming up over and over again for starseeds? Well, a lot of the things that can kind of go sideways for a lot of starseeds relate back to the extreme sensitivity that starseeds have. And we've talked a lot about this in my videos, how starseeds are kind of across the board very sensitive beings. So we are very sensitive to energy, we are very sensitive to frequency, and we are very sensitive to things that your average person doesn't even register. So because of that, we tend to have very sensitive physical bodies, and those physical bodies can act up when we're around vibrations or energies that are not a good match for us. And unfortunately, we live on a planet full of toxins and chemicals and pollution, which doesn't help. So what are some of the things that seem to plague starseeds more than the average person? Well, one of the major things that I have seen in so many starseed clients and so many of my starseed friends is issues with the nervous system. So starseeds tend to be extremely sensitive to pretty much everything. So because of this, there is a tendency to be more vulnerable than your average person to having a very vigilant nervous system. And of course, being on hyper alert all the time is just not great for our physical bodies. So as starseeds, it can be very helpful for many of us to take care of our nervous systems, to keep ourselves out of stress, to do all of our spiritual practices that help us balance ourselves, ground ourselves, center ourselves. It can just help soothe our hypersensitive body. Now, something kind of interesting that also pops up with many starseeds is there seems to be a trend toward having lower body temperatures and sometimes lower blood pressures than the average person. So I know that my body temperature always ran about 3 degrees colder than everyone else. And I always thought that was just a weird thing, but I have heard this from so many other starseeds as well. So the guides have mentioned that low blood pressure and low body temperature are something that we see a lot in the starseed community. Now, something else that can really plague a lot of starseeds, and this may also have some relationship to that hypersensitivity that starseeds have, and that is struggles with inflammation in the body. And of course, we are not the only ones to struggle with this. This is a big human problem, but starseeds can struggle with this frequently. And I know this has been something that has been a struggle for pretty much my entire life. Even though I did everything that the healers and doctors tell you to do to reduce inflammation, it just didn't seem to work. So this is something that I am hearing reported from many, many starseeds, is that they struggle with inflammation in the body. And something else that seems to be in keeping with this trend of starseeds being hypersensitive and having very sensitive physical bodies is that many starseeds seem to have very specific dietary needs. So some starseeds may have this sensitivity manifest as food allergies or food sensitivities. That is super common, especially amongst Pleiadian starseeds. But it may also mean that as a starseed, it can help you to be very specific with your diet, because the Pleiadians always like to remind us everything is energy, everything is frequency. And that extends to what we are eating and drinking. If we are eating a lot of that junk that is so common in our environment, we are often taking in a lot of things that are very low vibrational. So the P's always encourage us to take some of the pressure off of our physical bodies by cleaning up our diet. And how we do this will look different for each of us. But one thing that the guides often recommend that can be helpful to a lot of starseeds is to clean up the diet. So the more we can eat foods that are clean, that are not modified, that are not processed, that are not full of inflammatory ingredients, this can take some of the pressure off of our hypersensitive bodies. So cleaning up the diet can always be helpful. And something else, according to the guides, that can come up a lot for starseeds is issues with the skin. And this can take various forms. One of the examples would be things like skin rashes, skin irritations. And according to the guides, in some situations, this can be a result of starseeds having a tendency to bottle up their emotions. So we know that this is more of an issue with certain types of starseeds than others. There are just some starseed races that dealing with their emotions, processing them in a healthy way does not come naturally to them. So in some starseeds, this can reveal itself as issues with the skin, where the bottling up of emotions, which we know all of our experts have told us is not a great thing, that it tends to explode out of us at the worst possible time. And so according to the guides, this is one of the reasons why many starseeds will see or have issues with the skin. So if that is something that resonates with you, one thing that can be helpful is examining how you are processing your emotions. And the P's have given us lots of advice on how to do that in a healthy way so that we don't shove those emotions into our energy field where they get stuck. Because when our stuck and frozen emotions are sitting like a clump in our energy field, they start to manifest in our life, and generally not in ways that we are thrilled with. So this is something that comes up for many starseeds. And finally, one other thing that comes up with annoying frequency for much of the starseed community is having fairly significant health issues that no one can get a handle on. So many starseeds that I have worked with have reported having pretty significant health concerns that no one could identify, or things that seem to defy all testing or all available remedies. This is something, unfortunately, that is super common in starseeds. And this, unfortunately, is something I have had a lot of firsthand experience with for most of my adult life, where there were very serious issues with the physical body, but no one knew what was going on. So after seeking out every version of healer, doctor, professional, no one knew what was causing it. And unfortunately, this is something that is fairly common with starseeds, especially with particular types of starseed. So if you are, in particular, a starseed who is a transmuter or an anchor, this is something that seems to come up more commonly for these types of starseeds. And one of the things that helped me get a handle on this was learning how to process energy properly. Because a lot of times, as anchors and transmuters, we are doing some very serious energetic work at an unconscious level and just bringing in more energy than our bodies can handle. And over time, that just wears us out. So if you are someone who struggles with things that are a bit of a mystery, this may be one of the factors that is contributing to that. So learning how to manage and process energy safely can be very beneficial if this is something that is resonating with you. So if you are one of the many starseeds who is having some sort of manifestation of difficulty with the physical body, what can you do about it? because this was one of the big questions that I have asked my guides over and over again. And so many of my clients have asked the Pleiadians this question as well. And there are a couple things that the Ps always recommend. And again, this is something to be intuitive about. So follow your own inner guidance. Work with whatever healing practitioner resonates with you. So that is going to look differently for all of us. So some of the things that the Ps recommend as generally helpful to people are, first off, to clean up our diet. So the more we can eat and fuel our bodies with things that are healthy, the better feedback we're going to get from the body. Because as they have mentioned, everything is energy. If you are feeding your body garbage, well, you're feeding it low vibrational frequencies. And if you are eating things that are clean, that are pure, that are organic, that are not modified or processed, you're giving yourself an advantage. You're giving yourself higher vibrational fuel. So this is something that the Ps always encourage us to support our sensitive starseed bodies, is by looking at the fuel sources that you are feeding it. Now, another thing that the Ps always recommend is grounding our bodies, because this is one of the best ways we can support our hypersensitive bodies. And as starseeds, y'all, we are not great about this. It is so tempting for us to want to be in the high-flying energies, in the higher realms, that we tend to pop out of our bodies. And what happens as we pop our consciousness out of our bodies, which most of us do without realizing it or thinking about it, what happens is other energies move in. And so if we are not manning the fort, then we're letting other energies do that. So we don't really want to be doing that, because we can be taking energies into our body that are not a vibrational match to us. So bringing that consciousness back into your body can be really helpful. And one of the best ways to do this is by grounding. So you can ground yourself using meditations. You can ground yourself by getting out in nature. One of the best ways to ground your body is to get in water. And all of these are going to help you keep your consciousness in the body. And one of the things that happens as you get your consciousness back in your body is you can hear the feedback of your body. Your body is going to tell you what it needs, and you have to be in your body to hear that. So staying grounded in the body is really important, especially when we are struggling with the physical body. So using your favorite grounding technique and making sure that you are on that as part of your daily practice can be very helpful. Because when we are not grounded, we start to resonate with energies that are not a match for our human bodies. And for most of us, what that looks like is we start to resonate with our technology. And as the guides like to say, that is not helpful. So getting back in your body and getting in contact with nature can go a long way to resetting the physical body, to getting it back in resonance with a vibration that is nurturing. So if you need help with grounding, I have a new grounding meditation for starseeds on my website. I will link that in the description below. So make sure you check that out if you need some help with grounding, because starseeds have special grounding needs. A lot of the tools that we teach in the spiritual community for grounding your energy, which work for most people, often don't work for starseeds. So I have a meditation that will walk you through a grounding meditation that works for starseeds. So grab that if you need help with this. And finally, something else that can help you if you are struggling with the body is to get out of the mind. Because the more we are in the mind, the more we are in the ego and all of the ego's stressful mental chatter. And getting out of the mind, even for a few minutes a day, getting into that heart space, which the Ps talk about all the time, can help take some of the stress off the physical body. And bringing yourself into your heart space will also put you in communication with your body. You'll be able to hear your body's feedback and what it needs more easily. So those are some of the tips that the Ps have for us for just helping us bring some relief to our physical bodies, especially if you are one of the many, many starseeds who struggles with this. So let me know in the comments below, how are y'all doing in these energies? They have been pretty intense lately. So let me know in the comments below. And while you're down there, don't forget, hit the subscribe button and the like button if you haven't done that yet. I'll see you next time. Bye.